Good morning, boys and girls, and thank you for joining us for our first summer reading preschool story time online. Our theme for this week and next will be Land of the Littles. And when I think of littles, think about littles for a little bit. What do you think about when you think of something little? I think of bugs. And maybe you think of like little fairies. But today we're going to focus on bugs. So before we begin our story time, I'm going to have you put your little fists together. We're going to get some wiggles out here. So we're going to put them over each other like this, and then we're going to wind them. Wind the bobbin up, wind the bobbin up. And then we're going to pull, pull, and then clap, clap, clap. Now we're going to go backwards. Wind the bobbin back. Wind the bobbin back, pull, pull, clap, clap, clap. Now with your little fingers, point to the ceiling, point to the floor, point to a window, find a window and point to a door. Clap your hands together, 1, 2, 3. Put your hands both together upon your knees. Good job, good job. Well, like I said, I think of littles as little tiny bugs. And I don't know if you have fun with that, but I've had fun looking at all different kinds of bugs. But did you know that some bugs are called insects? And I have a little saying, and if you look right here on my board, I have a little ant. And I've blown him up so that you can see him. But we know that that ant is teeny tiny, right? If we see it on a sidewalk. But let's see if it's an insect, okay? Is that bug an insect? Can it be? Are there 3 parts? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3. It has 3 parts. Count the legs. Are there 6 that you can see? There's 1, 2, 3, and on the back side you can see he's got 4, 5, 6. He's got 6 legs. On its head, are there 2 antennae? Oh, there are. Those are his antennae right there. 1, 2. If you answered yes, then we can agree that bug is an insect. Absolutely. All right. So we know that on this chart it has a head, and this middle part's called a thorax, and that's its abdomen. So we know an insect has 3 parts. So I thought for our first book I chose The Bugliest Bug, and it is by Carol DeGory Shields. Let's find out some more about bugs. Do you have 6 legs? Do you wiggle or crawl? Could you be the bugliest bug of them all? Let's find out. A contest for insects. News buzzed through the air. Bugs slithered and swarmed from here and from there. Down by the pond, young damselfly Dilly said, I'm a plain bug, neither clever nor frilly. But while I won't win, I would still like to see who the bugliest bug turns out to be. Here she is, there's little Dilly. Fireflies lit up the stage with their lights. Glowworms glowed softly, a beautiful sight. A lacy white curtain hung from the tree. See it in here? See it right there? And billowed and swayed in the warm evening breeze. The clearing was humming with bugs of all sizes, flittery, jittery, hopes for prizes. There were more bugs than Dilly could ever have dreamed, from tiny no-see-ums two fat termite queens. Some had great pincers, some had proud horns, some looked like branches or flowers or thorns. Dilly crept closer as the bigger judge grinned. Sweet little bugs, let our contest begin. How odd, Dilly thought. Those judges have wings. Oh, see, she notices wings that are tied on their backs with gossamer string. Oh, do you see that they're tied on? Clicked beetles clucked and whirligigs whirled. Crickets sang solos and swallowtail twirled. A ladybug curtsied, tumblebugs flipped. The judges applaud, then licked their lips. Oh. See all the judges? The judges looked shifty, so Dilly kept squinting. Then, sure enough, she spied their fangs glinting. Oh, did you see? She yelled, "We've been flim-flammed, bamboozled, distracted. Those judges aren't insects." She cried, "They're arachnids." Oh, do you know what arachnid is? It's another name for a spider. The big judge hissed softly, "Too late for you all. It's curtain time now, and it started to fall. Folks," he continued, "we like all your acts, but we think we will like you much better as snacks." Oh goodness. The bugs froze in fear. This looked like the end. But Dilly thought quickly and shouted out, "Friends, there's only one way to get out of this mess. Each insect must do what each insect does best. So charge!" yelled the squadron of swift soldier flies, and bombardier beetles took to the skies. Dilly whirled up through a hole in the net. "It's working, it's working. We'll beat those creeps yet." The army ants marched. There they go. The mantis prayed. "Keep fighting," called Dilly, "and don't be afraid." Then the stink bugs united, gave off their worst smells. "P.U., we give up," the spiders all yelled. Look at them run. They scuttled away. "Hooray!" cried the bugs, giving high sixes and fuzzy warm hugs. The cicadas piped up. "It's time for a speech. Attention, my friends," he said with a screech. "The contest is over, and we have a winner. Without this young damsel, we'd all be dinner. She might be young, and she might be small, but Dilly's the bugliest bug of us all." That was a great story. She wasn't afraid of those arachnids, those spiders. My second book, I decided to stay with bugs on my second book, and this comes from, it's an Usborne book, it's Big Book of Little Stories. And the story I'm about to read you is based on a fable. And a fable usually teaches us a lesson of some kind. And it is retold by Leslie Sims. And it is called The Ant and the Grasshopper. This is a really pretty book and it has really pretty pictures. So I hope you enjoy it. It was a glorious summer day. Grasshopper chirped and sang sunny songs. Ant was too busy to sing. He huffed and he puffed and he groaned as he hauled food away to his winter store. Grasshopper smiled and lay back on a leaf, drowsy and dozing in the sun. After a while, he called out to Ant, "You're working too hard." "I have to," Ant panted. "There's so much to do." "I must collect all this food for the winter." But winter is ages away," said Grasshopper. "Enjoy the sunshine with me while you can." "Winter may seem ages away," Ant replied, "but it will come all too swiftly. If you don't work now, why, when the sun has long gone and the earth is sleeping, you will be cold and hungry." Grasshopper laughed and sang on. He wasn't worried. Ant puffed and he puffed and he carried more corn. Sure enough, winter crept over the earth, trees stood bare against the bleak sky, and snow dusted the fields. Just like Ant said, weather was going to change. There's Ant. Tucked up snug in his little home, Ant looked at his food stored and smiled. He had boxes galore, plenty to keep him fed until the spring buds blossomed. See all this food? At last, oops, I might have missed a page, sorry. Outside, in a blustery gale, Grasshopper scrunched himself up and tried to shelter behind a leaf. Oh, do you see him here? He's cold. But the wind blew through his trembling body. However tight he curled up, and his tummy ached with hunger. At last he fought through the wind to Ant's house. "Ant, help!" Grasshopper shouted. Ant poked his head outside his door. "Grasshopper, you look frozen," he cried. "Come inside and get warm." "Thaw out by the stove," said Ant, "and I'll make supper." Grasshopper beamed. He could almost taste the toasted corn already. "Thank you, kind, clever Ant," he said, basking in the heat of the flames. "I promise, next summer I'll work too." So he learned that he had to do always entertainment when we do story time. So he learned that he had to do a little work to prepare for his winter. So I hope that you enjoyed those stories today, and be sure to mark the books down if you're doing the 1,000 books, and we will see you again in a couple of weeks.